So Paula here, video number 4, and this probably could be my most complex video because I'm going to talk about modelling. I'm conscious that every video seems to have grown by a minute, so potentially we might be heading towards 5 minutes on this one. Okay, I will do my very best to keep to time. So modelling. Now modelling can take a huge range of basically types of models, what people think is a model, what people think is not a model. Now, I've worked for organisations whereby they've called it this model, and literally all it is I wouldn't even say there was any sensitivity around it at all. It's just a case of putting some numbers together, and because they've done it in a slightly complicated way, call it a model. Now, to me, what changes a spreadsheet to a model is what I call the ability to create a scenario. So first of all, it's a case of when you're setting up a model, you have to start at the highest level. Is the model, are we looking at this for a 1-year projection, a 2-year projection, a 5-year projection, or even further out? Now, obviously, the further you go out to the future, the less certain everything is. Basically from sales projections, which you can somewhat control, to rates of inflation, interest rates, really, as an organization, no control whatsoever. So you just have to assume some things. Now, with that, as a management accountant, a lot of the modeling that you do is basically to what we call is cover costs and cover overhead. And one of the biggest costs of overhead is salary. So if you take an organization, it may have, say, 100 employees. And when I say 100 employees, I'm just using 100 as a number. Your organization might have 100,000, it might have 100 million employees. I don't know. Maybe slightly exaggerating on 100 million, but you get the point. Anyway, so you've got a unit of 100 employees. Now, you may have 10 different organizations around your country or around the world. And it might be that every single of those 10 sites, basically it's a rough geographical size, and you can just say, look, I'll apportion overheads literally and divide by 10. Easily done. However, it might be that you've actually got, say, 3 really large sites in major capital cities. Then the other 7 are in really tiny regional hubs. So is it fair to say that, a regional hub should be getting the same amount of allocation as, a major capital city? The answer is no. So what you can do is you can work out a basis whereby you split the costs literally on a more, I don't know, what's the word I'm thinking of? Equitable basis. I think that's probably the word I was with, equitable. I like that. So with that, you can then set up a model, and it could be a case of you just say, okay, well, we're just going to put in some metrics basically for floor size, and you get a number. And then somebody else might say, well, actually, hang on a minute. Do you know what? Even though in the minor locations, there's a lot less floor space, actually the rents are about the same. So suddenly, when you actually look at 2 different metrics, all of a sudden those costs actually might have to be split on an equal basis, just because the rents for the properties are the same. Now, in modelling, you can control so many different variables, so many different scenarios. It's untrue. And a good modeler will ensure that you can flex as many things as is reasonably possible, but do that in a controlled viewpoint. And also, most importantly, there can be a very quick and easy turnaround graphical demonstration of, by changing the assumptions, how do you actually impact on the profit. So as I say, that's probably a little bit of a whistle stop to modelling, trying to give you an exact example basically whereby you can spread costs, but also you can change the process for spreading those costs. Most definitely, you're going to have a modeler within your company. However, there's nothing to stop you hiring somebody external to check those workings and to see whether or not it's actually agreeing with the strategy of what the executive wants. So I'll say for this one, I would definitely say, get your tamer and use a hybrid approach. And I'm just about going to wrap this up, and I'm going to squeeze just over 5 minutes. I thought I would. Anyway, modeling, probably the most dramatic application of spreadsheets that your company can use, and carefully managed really are the proverbial game changer. And hiring an external consultant, you know, some of the tweaks, some of the tips that they can bring, some of their observations, again, you know, it's going to basically pay for their salaried costs for coming in for 1 or 2 days or a week or a month 10 or 100 times over. Anyway, this is Paula signing off from video number 4. Thank you very much.